Mm, we'll start the recording. Right. So, yeah, in the previous class, you might have noticed that we have already begun the nouns and verbs. Especially, we have started to learn about um, nouns and verbs, masculine nouns and verbs. So I told you the Hebrew way of understanding nouns and verbs in terms of gender, it is not about quality. Okay? It's not about quality of the particular noun, but it is every Hebrew word should be either masculine or feminine. Okay, not like in English. In English, only few words which has the quality of men and women. That says that it is a masculine noun or it is a feminine noun. But in Hebrew, it is not that way. You will come to know. Okay, you will come to know what are all the masculine and feminine nouns. So now I believe that in the last class, I shared with you um, the vocabularies. Let me share it once again. So, so here we have already, I think I have already helped you to learn some of the vocabularies. Let us repeat once again and we will go further. So the first word is Avraham. Avraham. This Avraham. And second is man. Then Bayit, it is house. Then Bayin, son. Davar, word or thing. And in Greek you might have learned the vocabulary, right? Logos, the word. So it's very similar. Davar and David, it is David. And who, who is he? Okay, just learn it with the rhyming style. Who is he? And he is she. You will learn another vocabulary for the pronoun she. The Hebrew word is he, so that you will remember later. Now Zakar, remembered. I told you about the tense, right? It should be always in the perfect tense. That you will get to know in the coming classes. And Malak, ruled or reigned. And Melech is king. And Naar, young man. Naar, young man. And Ahmad, stood. Shama, heard or listened. Shamar, guarded or kept. Right? So I think you will be used to these vocabularies because our homework and our class exercises will be based on these vocabularies. Right. Now let us come back to the class. And so today we are going to begin about the Hebrew sentences. Right, Hebrew sentences. So very similar to English, even in Hebrew, if we ask how to define a sentences are what? Group of collection of words. Okay, there are collection of words together that makes a sentences. So in Hebrew, I already told you how we have to read. We have to read the sentence from right to left. Okay, right to left. So now here we have David Zakar. Okay, David Zakar. So how do we pronounce it, we can say something like, how do we translate it? David remembered. Okay, so this is a sentence. So we read it this way, and when it comes to English, we have to write it from left to right. So David Zakar, that is David remembered, right? Now, who Ahmed? Who Ahmed? So you have to keep your vocabularies in your mind. Only then you can easily follow it. So who Ahmed? Who is what? He. And Ahmed is stood. Okay. He stood. He stood. Right. And is Sama. Is Sama. Is what? Man. And Sama is heard or listened. So man heard. So since there is no article, we can supply an article. A man heard, right? So this is how we start reading the Hebrew and we translate in English, right? So this is very simple. So the key thing is that you all have to memorize the vocabularies. You all have to keep the vocabularies in your mind. So there is no other shortcut. So only when you start reading continuously and memorizing the vocabularies, the flow will be with you. Now, as you know, some of the basic grammar, I don't have to remember many things. Since you are final year, you know subject, noun, and verb. Okay, so just a reminder of that. So subject is what? Subject is a subject of the sentence would be usually a noun or a pronoun. Okay, a noun or a pronoun that performs the action. So here which is here David is a noun, right? Because names are nouns, names, places, and things are nouns, and Zakar is an action, right? So now that is a verb. Now here, what is the subject? Subject is David, David, and here who Ahmed. So what is this is a he is a pronoun, right? He, see, it. So you should remember he, see, it pronoun, and here this is a subject because this performs the action. What action? He stood. He stood. And here this is a noun and this is a verb. So here the subject is this. So that just keep in mind, and whenever you learn any new vocabulary, just relate what are all nouns and what are all verbs, so that will be always there in your mind, right? So this is about subject, noun, and verb. Now let us see about the tense in Hebrew. Tense in Hebrew. So you all have to bear with me. These are very, very basic grammar. So don't worry if you are, don't think that this may be too high for you. These are very, very basic level grammar. Okay, tense. Perfect tense. So English verbs describe, we have past, present, and future tense, right? In English, we have past, perfect, and future tense. But in biblical Hebrew, we have only two tense. Okay, in biblical Hebrew, only we have two tense. One is perfect, and another is imperfect. Perfect and imperfect. Just always keep that in mind. We don't, if you think, if you take Greek, you have present, aorist, imperfect, future, right? Remember, if you take Greek, you might have already studied all these tenses. But in Hebrew, it's very simple language. In some terms, Hebrew is very simple than Greek. So we have only two tenses. So all the tenses that we have studied so far are in perfect tense, right? Remembered, heard, stood, all these are perfect tense. And the perfect tense is what is the purpose of perfect tense in Hebrew? Okay, if you ask what is the purpose of perfect tense in Hebrew? So it describes present completed action or future completed action as well as past completed action. See, even though the perfect tense is having the nature like a past tense, so in Hebrew it describes present completed action. It may describe present completed action or past completed action or future completed action. Okay, don't worry, we will come to this point later. So just keep following the ideas, so you will get to know. And so most of the time, what we are going to do is we mostly translate for our class exercises. We mostly translate like English past tense. Okay, mostly we translate like English past tense. How we translate? So in the past tense, how do we do? For example, here, present tense, past participle, right? You remember here, heard, heard. So stand, stood, stood. So present tense, past participle. You might know this. So we translate most of the time. We are going to translate in past tense. So that keep in mind. That you keep in mind, right? So these are very simple grammatical introduction. But at the same time, the past tense can be understood in different ways. Past tense can be expressed in different ways. Let us see few examples. Okay. Okay, let's take this example. What is that? David Samer. Okay, David Samer. So what is the basic translation? Samer is guarding, guard or kept. Okay, guarded or kept. Kept means protecting. So you can translate it as David Samer. What is that? Guarded. But we can also say David did guard. Again, this is also very same expression. This is also same perfect tense. Okay, and also we can also say David was guarding. David was guarding. That is also right. And David has guarded. Again, that is right. When David had guarded. David had guarded. All these expressions are right. Okay, all these expressions are right. Then you may be asking when to translate in this way. So don't worry, it depends on the context. It depends on the context of the text. So wherever it is needed, you may translate in that sense. Otherwise, it is absolutely okay to translate David got it, that's fine. But depending upon the sentences, you may translate it in any of these ways. So that you can keep it in your mind. Right. So far we studied about the Hebrew sentence and the subject, verb, noun, and also we studied about the tense, perfect tense. So we will be looking at the imperfect tense later. So just for now, we will stick with perfect tense. Right. Now let's go to definite article. So what are all the definite articles in English? You all know, right? In English, we have three articles, right? We have they, and the. So these two are indefinite. Indefinite means it's not anything particular or anything specific. So we translate, for some example, is like a man, and I. You know how, when the "an" is used. Okay, when the most of the time when when a word is beginning with vowel, we usually use "an." So I mean, yeah. So this is not this is a general man. This is about some particular eye. It is not specific about whether the left eye or the right eye. It is not about that particular man. It's a man. So it's not anything specific, right? So if you take the example, okay, what is this? Melek. Okay, I think I don't need to write the transliteration now and then. You will get used to the way of reading the Hebrew. So better you can follow me. What is this? Melek. Melek is, if you look at the vocabulary chart, just now I have given you. So if you might have already written in your notebook, just you can refer it. Melek is king. King. Okay. So here, this is a noun. Okay, this is a noun that doesn't have any article. So it is actually a king. Okay. If you want to translate in English, so the Melek is a king. So now, you use in Hebrew, if the Hebrew language wants to make a noun as a definite, okay, as a definite, it usually adds a hey, okay. You know this letter, right? This is hey. So here, usually the hey actually acts as a definite article. Hey is the definite article, and usually you will get a pathak. Okay, usually most of the time there are times you may get even the comments. Usually you will get a pathak, and also some of the times you may get a dagesh. Dagesh inside the next letter. So this is the common structure that we can see it in Hebrew for a definite article. Okay, this Hey, and Dagesh. So I think you might remember we studied about Dagesh in the last class. So what kind of Dagesh is this? This should be a strong Dagesh, right? Strong Dagesh. We studied there are two Dagesh, weak Dagesh and strong Dagesh. So Dagesh is a dot inside any Hebrew letter. So usually the weak Dagesh comes only in the six letters, Beged Kefet, that is Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Kaf, Pe, Tait. Now, this is not the Baget Kefet letter, this is main. So, if the Dagesh comes here, it is again, what is that? It is strong Dagesh. So, what is the purpose of strong Dagesh? It actually doubles, right? It actually doubles the letter. So, if you want to divide the syllable here, so this is something extra. If you want to divide the syllable, how it happens? Hum. Okay. You have to double it. Okay. You have to double the letter. So hum, the vowel under the letter comes to the second one. The hum, me, lake. So this is how it can be divided. Hum, me, lake. Okay. Hum, me, lake. Hum, me, lake. So this is how you have to read this letter. What do you mean? Hammelek is the king. The king. Okay. I hope you can follow what I am telling. This is not a big deal. We will look at some more examples. Na'ar. Na'ar is young man. Young man. So, a young man, because there is nothing definite here. So now, when when we add an article, what happens? There will be a dot. Okay. Now, how do we read? Hanna'ar. Okay. Hanna'ar. Please remember again, we have to double it. Okay. We have to double it. Right. So, that's all about the definite article. We will get to know some of the things in the coming time. And remember, we talked about gutturals. Guttural. What are all the guttural letters? Aleph, He, Heit, Ain, Resh. Okay, these are guttural letters. Okay, just keep that in. Guttural means you have to pronounce it from the throat. So that is the reason it is called guttural. Now, when the definite article comes before any of these gutturals, when the definite article comes before any of these letters, so the vowel below the definite article will change. Okay, we usually said that you will have vowel like this, right? But when it comes before a definite article, it may change to patak or it may change to segol. So they are definite articles. Still they are definite articles. And there will be no dagesh in the following letter. Remember, we said that dagesh will not come in the guttural letters. So here is an example. what is this? Is, right? Is a man. Is a man. Now we are adding a definite article. Ha is. Ha is. So now what happens? The man. Okay, here please take note of this. This one is a definite article. Even though the vowel has changed, it is still the definite article, right? And what is this? Ear. This is what ayin, and here a yod, and here we have resh. So this is ear. Ear means what? A city. A city. Now, if you add Hajir, that means the city. The city. So again, you might have already noticed. So the key to learning, understanding the Hebrew sentence is you should understand the vocabulary. So if you don't know, year means city, it will be difficult for you to identify which is the noun and which is the article. So because it may not be all the time that the hey will be article. Sometimes some of the letters will start with hey. I mean, some of the words may start with hey. So in such situation, only by knowing the vocabulary correctly, which is the noun and which is the whole word. So that is only going to make you understand Hebrew sentence easily, right? Well, so that is about definite article. And nouns, okay, some of the nouns are definite by nature. Already they are definite. So in English we call it what? Proper noun, okay? Proper noun. For example, Hayes Zakar. Hayes Zakar. What is that? The man remembered. The man remembered, right? So, and David Ahmed. David Ahmed. We don't have to write the David remembered. Do we have to write? No. We don't have to give articles to the proper nouns, okay? Because it is already definite by nature. We don't use, for names and cities, we don't use articles. So these are definite by nature. That also you have to keep it in your mind, right? So that's all about our class today. Let me give you some of the examples, okay? Some of the examples from your homework. So in your example, your duty is to translate, okay? You have to translate some of the some of the Hebrew to English, and also from some English to Hebrew. So far we have seen a lot of translations from Hebrew to English. So now let us see something. The son heard. So how do we write it in Hebrew? So the son. So first of all, we have to put a hey, right? and what we have to do, we have to find out what is the vocabulary for sun. Habbein. Okay, habbein. And heard. What is the word? What is the word for heard? That is Sama. Okay, Habbein Sama. That is the sun heard. Right? I think you can follow it easily. So that's very simple. And the house stood. The house stood. So we know the word for house is bayit. Habbayit. What is the word for stood? Ahmad. Okay. Habbayit Ahmad. So you will get some simple homework like this. So this is not much of a big deal. So this is very simple. You may translate easily. And yeah, as I already said, that you can also translate in different way. You may also get English translation like, I mean, the English sentences like the king did remember. You know, I already told you that again, this is still the perfect tense. Okay, this is a but different way of expression. So you still have to translate in the same way. You know, melek, right? Now, if you add, and there should be a dagesh inside, hammelek, and remember, like it is zakar, right? Zakar. Hammelek zakar. It is the king did remember. Again, the translation is very simple. Yeah, that's all for this week. So if you have any doubt, please let me know now, or we can close the class.